Welcome back, everybody, to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host, Michael Darcy, and today I have the pleasure to be joined by my friends, Caden Spruill and Kyle Collier, both fellow producers at Sports Radio 810 WHB, and we are going to give our final thoughts on who the Chiefs are going to end up selecting in the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft. So, fellas, we are just a few days away from the NFL Draft, and there's a lot of rumors circulating around who the Chiefs might end up selecting. We've heard Todd McShay, an analyst, say that they're going to go get a tackle. We've seen different rumors that the Chiefs are going to trade all the way up to pick 3 or 4 to get a tackle or an edge rusher. Those are bogus, but I want to get your thoughts on which way you think the Chiefs are leaning as of today. So, Caden, who do you think the Chiefs are going to end up selecting with the 9th overall pick?
Oh man, I've been all over the place with this, but I think it is going to be a wide receiver eventually. I've said this before. I think it's just going to be based off of who's available there. I think there's a good chance Ruben Bain and David Bailey are both gone by the time the Chiefs pick. So I think next up would have to be a wide receiver. But I think it was interesting that you brought up Todd McShay and just because he said that it was it was Andy Reid who was hell bent on fixing this offensive line to protect Patrick Mahomes, who's coming off a ACL tear. I think that's pretty interesting. I think the bigger picture to look at it within that comment is just everybody's talked about how or at least over the last few years is it Brett Veach that's making the picks, or is it the coaching staff that is forcing pounding the table saying that they need their guy? And I think that is, if that is if Andy is hell-bent on fixing this line, then I think that kind of gives you the answer that you need to that question. The coaching staff is having a very heavy influence on who the Chiefs are picking in each round. So, I mean, it doesn't come to it's not a huge surprise, if you do have that, if you do think that is the case, that Andy, it doesn't really surprise me a lot, but I think that just kind of clears the air a little bit on that situation. But yeah, I think that is going to be a wide receiver. I don't think that the Chiefs. I think a lot of people have kind of overplayed the. I don't think the wide receiver position is as bad as people are saying. I think Xavier Worthy was injured for a good part of the season last year. Rashee Rice really could never really get into a rhythm. Obviously, missing the first 6 games of the season and then getting hurt as well when he came back. I think that they are going to be better this year, but that doesn't change the fact that I do think they need to go with the wide receiver in the first round. Preferably, I go with Mekhi Lemon. I think he's the type of wide receiver the Chiefs likes. He's really good after the catch too. They like to, they like guys that are good after the catch. Good after the catch. Rashee Rice is a good example of that. So, yeah, I'd probably say wide receiver right now.
Yeah, I'm in exactly the same boat, and before I get to my pick prediction, I mean Andy Reid being hell bent. What does that look like and or sound like? Like,
I don't want to see it, and I don't want to hear it.
yeah, the only thing I can think of is that game where he was wearing the visor and it got all foggy, right? And he was pissed at the ref or something. No, I can't imagine Andy Reid's hell bent on adding a tackle. I'm not going to be super upset. I know I've seen some discussion on Twitter that Chief fans are going to riot if they take a tackle in the first round. I don't necessarily think that's a horrible choice. I personally would prefer wide receiver. But, it's all about making Pat happy. And frankly, just looking at the wide receiver position, while it may not be as bad as some people think it is, the future of that wide receiver room is certainly kind of up in the air right now. Rashee Rice likely not going to get a second contract unless I don't know, unless
He finds
miraculous.
God. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know how to describe it, but that's a good way to put it. And yeah, we'll see if Xavier Worthy can bounce back. But man, I saw those videos of Jordan Tyson over the weekend. Whoo, give me Jordan Tyson. He looks nasty. Now I know there's injury concerns, but he was doing things against air that I don't really see any other receivers in this draft doing. So I'm all in at wide receiver at 9 and going either tackle or edge at 29.
It feels like as time goes on, the smoke around the Chiefs taking Jordan Tyson is only getting heavier. I mean, Peter Schrager, who only does 2 mock drafts, had the Chiefs taking Jordan Tyson at 9. And after hearing Brett Veach spend a portion of his press conference glow about Mekhi Lemon, it almost makes me wonder that he's trying to throw other GMs off the trail of Jordan Tyson so the Chiefs can draft him. So I almost think the Chiefs are going to go with the wide receiver at 9. whether it's Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson. I think it's going to be one of those two guys. And I'm kind of leaning towards Jordan Tyson. Now, to answer the question, would I be happy if they drafted a tackle at 9? If they drafted Spencer Fano at 9, I'm going to be in Pittsburgh. I'm going to live stream myself jumping off the Pittsburgh Bridge if they draft Fano at 9, because he does not have the arm length that the Chiefs look for in tackles. And the first thing, if you look at his draft profile, says that he could kick inside to guard. The Chiefs don't need any more guards. They've got too many as is. They're paying one guy $24 million a year, and the other guy's a second-round draft pick. Don't need any more of them. So I could maybe be talked into a tackle at 29, but Kyle and Caden, if they draft a tackle at 9 straight up, God forbid they trade up to go draft one. If they draft one at 9, I'm going to be upset. If they trade up to draft one, I'm going to be ultra upset. But I want to get your thoughts. What is the combination of players or position groups you think the Chiefs have got to come out of the first round with? Like wide receiver edge, wide receiver tackle, edge corner. What do you think the Chiefs have got to do at picks 9 and 29?
Yeah, I think it's got to be wide receiver and edge for sure. I know I said Mekhi Lemon would be my pick, but Jordan Tyson is growing on me as well. I think he probably has the highest ceiling, but the most superstar potential. When I've watched his film, I get mad Jamar Chase vibes. Like just seeing the way that he goes up for the ball, he makes plays on the ball and his route running. And just watching his film, I'm like, yeah, that looks exactly like Jamar Chase. So I think he probably has the biggest ceiling. But yeah, I'd probably say wide receiver and edge is where you have to go. I don't necessarily think that you have to trade up. Everybody's talking about trading up. There's no players I don't think that you necessarily have to trade up for in this draft, especially where the Chiefs are at currently. I think you can get really good players at 9 and 29, and I think there's better options for edge at 29 than there is at 9. Just because, like I said, I think Bain and David Bailey will both be gone. There's a multitude of guys that you could think about taking at 29. Zion Young from Mizzou is a guy that we've heard a lot. But yeah, that's probably where I'd probably say him at 29 if I had to actually give you a name. But yeah, I think they have to leave a wide receiver and edge in the first 2 rounds. Those are the two most dire needs, and those are the 2 premium positions, as we talked about a lot. Those are the positions that you want to, play out those entire rookie contracts and pay those guys the least amount as you can. As bad as it sounds, it's just, how the business works.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with what Caden just said. Give me wide receiver and give me edge. I think as a basic rule, I said this on the night shift last week, Darcy, that I don't think the Chiefs leave the first round with a guy under 250 pounds. They're going to need an edge somewhere because right now it's George Karlaftis and FAU, Ashton Gelati, and that's about it. You need to get an impact guy there, and I don't think you can wait till after pick 40 to do it. I've seen a lot of mock drafts, put Colton Hood out of Tennessee at pick 29 for the Chiefs. I wouldn't hate that. I like Colton Hood. Heck, I wouldn't even be mad at corner at number 9, but that guy better be an all-pro, perennial all-pro. And we haven't seen Brett Veach pay a corner, so I'm just not sure you want to waste these 2 first-round draft picks on guys who you're likely not going to pay, being a position in corner. So yeah, give me edge at 29 or 9. I'll be happy with either. But yeah, I think it's going to be wide receiver first.
Brett Veach mentioned in his pre-draft press conference that Chiefs fans are in for some excitement on Thursday night and that there will probably be a lot of trades. I want to talk about what that might mean on the other side of this break. This video is brought to you by my friends over at DM Injury Law. Injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation, but time is extremely critical. Rely on the experienced personal injury attorneys at DM Law, Kansas City and Missouri's top injury law firm. DM Law is a full-service personal injury practice supported by a large team of investigators, case managers, medical records specialists, and more, because every right deserves a fight. And best of all, you don't pay unless they win your case. DM Law operates on a contingency fee basis, meaning no fees unless they win your case. And they also provide free consultations. So if you've been injured, don't wait. You can contact DM Injury Law today to schedule a free consultation and learn how they can help you pursue the compensation you deserve. Let them handle the fight while you focus on recovery. Hurt in a car wreck? Call Mike. Remember, Mike's got this. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement. Thanks to DM Injury Law for sponsoring this video. Huge thanks to the sponsors that have supported me and this channel all offseason long and through the NFL draft. Guys, Brett Veach is very candid in his responses with the media, and he talked a lot about it, that this is maybe not the strongest draft class and that there are a lot of teams that are looking to move off of their original draft pick. And he said that it could be an entertaining night on Thursday night and that they could potentially see some trades. I think that is hinting that the Chiefs are going to be one of those teams trading up or trading back. But I want to ask you, Caden, do you think the Chiefs are going to be active trading up in the first round? And if so, which pick do you think is more likely that they trade up from?
I definitely think I don't think that they are going to trade up. I think that there's a better chance that the Chiefs trade down. But if they were to trade up, I think it'd be more likely that they trade up from 29. I think there might be an edge if they do get that late, that there's going to be an edge that they really like, and there's they feel like they need to trade up and just maybe a couple picks and take them there. But I think there's a lot higher chance that the Chiefs trade down, even with them having 9 picks. Everybody talks about the picks, but I don't think that's what their mindset is. I think it's based off of the guys who are the guys that they want. I don't think they're really thinking about how many picks that they have and, oh, we have this surplus, so we definitely need to trade up while we have the chance. I think it's based off of availability and the guys that they want. Simple as that. And if the guy isn't there, there's a good chance that they just trade down and add to that surplus of picks.
Yeah, I definitely see them trading down out of 9, and we've already seen the Bengals trade their number 10 overall pick for Dexter Lawrence. I guess that kind of counts as a draft trade, but I don't think the Chiefs will be involved in anything like that of that nature in the top 10. Now 29, let's say Monroe Freeling is there, at like 22, 23, 24. Brett Veach wants to move up there. I can see that, but definitely, Soren Petro reported yesterday that 0 chance the Chiefs are looking to trade up into the top 5. I could see it at 29 though, for sure.
I think that the Chiefs are going to trade up on Thursday night. I don't think it's going to be at the 9th overall pick. I think they stay put at 9. I'd almost be shocked if they picked at 29. I think they've got 9 draft picks for a reason. And every time the Chiefs have had multiple first-round picks under Brett Veach, we saw it back in 2022. They traded up to go get Trent McDuffie at 21. And I think they're going to be in a position where they're looking at one of those 3rd-round draft picks or a 4th-round pick and say, we'll give that up to move up 5 or 6 spots and get somebody that we have a first-round grade on. I think the Chiefs have to come out of this draft with as many day 1 quality starters as they can find, and they can't really put that pressure on finding those guys in the 4th and 5th round. Even though they could do it, might as well trade up and go get the guy that you want. So I think there's a much better chance that they trade up from pick 29 than 9. In fact, I'm kind of counting on them trading up from 29. Maybe I'll just be dead wrong about that, but I think the Chiefs are going to be active on draft night. And so I think my final question for you guys, and Caden, you kind of alluded to it before the break, who do you think the Chiefs are going to end up taking at 29? And I guess you don't have to give a specific player, but is there a position group that you think will be where the Chiefs target?
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be edge. I mean, you want to put as much, you want to get as much high end talent as you can at that edge position. I mean, Kyle talked about the guys that they have currently right now at the edge position. It's not very. They don't have a surplus of edge. It's just, that's for sure. So I think it has to be an edge there. And I mean, yeah, like you said, I wouldn't be against trading up. I think like I said, I think it'd be more likely that it's there. And even with Xavier Worthy, they decided to trade up and grab him too. I think it was only 2 or 3 spots maybe. But even when they didn't have a surplus of picks, they still decided to trade up. So I think that second pick late in the draft, whether it's at 29 or a trade up, I think it has to be a defensive end regardless.
Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement. If it's not Bailey and if it's not Bain, those guys are off the board at 9. I don't want you to take an edge there because I think you can get much better value taking edge and getting another premium position at 9. But I think there are some good edges around 29 and pick 40 as well. So yeah, definitely do not Do not sell, all the work you've done to get these 9 draft picks to move up from 9. Wait for some good talent, at the back end of the first.
I think the Chiefs have to escape the first round with a wide receiver and edge rusher. They got to find some combination of that between 9 and 29. There might be an outside chance that they are looking at a tackle because Brett Veach said that outside of that first round, there's not really a tackle worth taking. So if they're going to get one, it's going to be in the first round. And if they don't take one in the first round, they're not going to get one later. So I think that 29th overall pick, tackle could be an option. They might look at a cornerback because they've got a lot of holes in that secondary without Trey McDuffie and Jalen Watson. But I think it's probably going to end up being wide receiver at 9, edge rusher at 29, and then to throw in pick 40, I think they either go corner. You know what? Pick 40 is going to be a corner. I just have a feeling that they're either going to try to double up at edge or they're going to get a corner. But I think that is all the time we have in this video. Good stuff, fellas. My final question for you is where can the people find all the content that you're putting out? And we'll start with Caden.
You can follow me on Twitter at Caden Sproul 810. Catch me right here on KC Sports Report, and then we have the night shift on Sports Radio 810. Usually on Wednesday nights. We won't have one this week, but yeah, we're usually on Wednesday nights from 7 to 9 on 810.
Yeah, because Darcy's going to go to the draft, the selfish bastard.
I got to jump off a bridge, Kyle.
That's right.
I got to jump off the bridge.
Right. Right. And that all depends on how the draft goes, Darcy. You're not there yet.
Maybe it'll be a celebratory jump. Who knows?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Follow me on Twitter at Kyle Collier _810. I'll tweet out some live updates of Darcy's condition after he makes said jump. And then listen to the program on Sports Radio 810 weekdays 2 to 6.
The vibes will be high whether I'm dead or not. But that's all we have for the show, guys. Thank you for watching. And as always, go Chiefs.